Hello, beautiful people. It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video. This is from the channel Culture Spill, and the title reads, Prince was about to expose these names. Few days later, he was on a live. All right, we're gonna check this together, and yeah. We don't know how true this is, but obviously, as we see some videos be shared, we're going to check them as well. And I will love your thoughts and your input on this as well, because with Hollywood, you can't put nothing past Hollywood. And sometimes, or most of the time, new information keeps revealing by the minute. So we're going to check this together. But again, we don't know how true this is. We're just going to say alleged, right? But I would love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in.
On December 31st, 1999, my publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restricted documents.
I had searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
See, if there's one thing I can tell you for certain, it's that Prince knew a few days before his death that it was the end of the road for him. And he even posted a picture of himself which contained a since-deleted message just when you thought you were safe. In fact, during his final appearance at a party at Paisley Park, just after his reported treatment and days before his death, Prince reportedly told attendees, wait a few days before you waste any prayers. And just like he had predicted, Prince died at age 57 after being found unresponsive at his estate in Minnesota. At the time, health officials determined Prince died after an accidental fentanyl overdose, after unknowingly taking counterfeit Vicodin laced with the highly potent synthetic opioid. But it never made sense that clean living Prince died of an OD. To make matters worse, just a few days before his death, he was allegedly also just about to expose the names of the people who wanted him gone. So did they get to him first? And what exactly did he want to expose so badly? Well, for starters, he already started exposing how his label was shortchanging him and taking advantage of him.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
The thing is, Prince was signed.
Apart from that, you see, before now, it used to be OD all the time. Lots of celebrities, artists who pass away. Lots of the time, it used to be OD. Now, not like they still don't use the OD narrative. Now is either pneumonia or one kind of sickness or whatever. Why is that? They know exactly. And the funniest thing is, lots of these labels, they know what they're doing, and they know how to control the narrative and how it's going to benefit them, because they don't want to tarnish their image. Of course, they never stop and they will not stop. Still the same old game, old tactics.
Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
The thing is, Prince was signed to Warner Music in 1977 when he was just 18. And even though the album he released between 1978 and 1981 did not do that well, he was kept on the label, as he was regarded as a musician that reflected well on Warner, which at the time was a company that appeared to invest long-term in serious talent. In 1982, 1 year after MTV launched, Prince released more music, and he went top 10 in the US for the first time, and became part of a new breed of musicians who understood the power of the music video as a way to market an artist and build their own iconography and mythology. Eventually, after pretty much stamping his mark on the industry, Prince also set up his own label, Paisley Park Records, which was part funded by Warner, which also handled his distribution. But we've seen enough in Hollywood to know that the record labels rarely have the artist's best interest at heart. And once Prince started to want more control of his music, they started to frustrate him. And it got so bad that he decided to take the battle public by appearing with the word slave written on the side of his face. He actually talked about what he was going through in various interviews, like one with Paper Mag, where he said, I wanted to buy my masters back from Warner Brothers. They said, no way. So I'm going to re-record them. All of them. Now you will have two catalogs with pretty much exactly the same music, except mine will be better. And you can either give your money to WB, the big company, or to NPG. You choose. Prince's argument was that he was signed to Warner, and they, as a result, owned and controlled his name, as well as any music he released under that name. and he did not like that. He even dramatically changed his name to that of a symbol and was referred to as Symbol, Squiggle, or the artist formerly known as Prince. But after he got some control, he eventually went back to using his name.
I will now go back to using my name instead of the symbol I adopted as a means to free myself from all undesirable relationships.
Well, seemingly, even after Prince got control of his music, he was still being thoroughly frustrated by the elites, to the point to where they wanted to take him out. Basically, if he was not going to make the money, Prince would not make money at all. According to what has been reported, the only way that they could make sure of this was to unalive him. And Prince knew that they were coming for him, and reportedly died literally a few days before dropping names. Now, interestingly enough, even before Prince's sister, Tyka Nelson, died, she was talking about how Prince told her he was in trouble just a few days before he died. So just a few months ago, Tyka's family shared the news that Tyka passed in a post on her Facebook page, which quoted lyrics from Prince's song, All the Critics Love You in New York. The family also released a statement with regards to the death, saying, multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, author Tyka Nelson, Prince's sister, died Monday, November 4th at North Memorial Hospital in Robbinsdale. She is survived by her 2 sons, Sir and President, and 5 grandchildren. In addition, the family statement remembered Tyka Nelson as the daughter of Maddie and Joe Nelson, adding that she was best known as Prince's sister and worked to keep his legacy alive with his fans, attending fan and industry events. Well, there have been talks in the past about how Prince and Tyka were never close, but contrary to what people may think, they actually were pretty close. In fact, back in 2018, Tyka said she and her brother were very close growing up, and he was kind of told by her parents that he would have to take care of her. So wherever he went, she had to go too. She also shared that Prince helped save her life by getting her into rehab when she was struggling with substance misuse.
Save your life and getting you into rehab.
Yes, he did. I had a long time kind of battling those things, and after my father passed, it got really bad. And so I called up Big Bro to help. He said, okay, when and where.
In fact, when Prince realized that it was almost the end of the road for him, he started preparing Tyka for his death. And according to what she said, Prince prepared her for 2 years.
It wasn't hard at all. It was a 2-second phone call. He's gone. I had been preparing for 2 years, so I knew that it was coming.
What does that mean?
He said it a couple of years ago.
What would he say?
What he said was, I've done everything that I've come to do. So I was crushed for about two years.
In addition, while speaking to...
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's the same old tactics these record labels use. It never gets old. And they know exactly what to do, where to catch you, what to hold you onto, and all. Because they know that it is catchy, and lots of the time, most people are desperate to want to be famous. So, of course, they just give you those record labels or those deals that they know you can't get out of. They know. Wow, preparing for your death for 2 years.
the Minnesota Star Tribune about retiring from performing and working on a memoir, Tyka also recalled the last conversation she had with her brother 4 days before his death, saying, "He kept avoiding questions. I kept getting mad. I felt like, talk to me for 2 seconds. He changed the subject, make a joke, and then we both laugh. A couple of times I said, how are you really? He didn't go into anything with me. That was bothering me, and he knew it was, but that was all he wanted to tell me." So Tyka also knew that Prince was about to be taken out, and whether or not he dropped names to his sister, we may never know now. You know what's even more interesting? The same things Prince was exposing were the very same thing someone like Michael Jackson was exposing.
This is very important because throughout the years, black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. And like Mrs. Sharpton was saying, people from James Brown to Sammy Davis Jr., some of the real pioneers that inspired me to be the entertainer that I am. These artists are always on tour because if they stopped touring, they would totally go broken. And it's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Sony Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish.
Yes, I know that there have also been talks about how the two were beefing, but contrary to what was portrayed by the media, these two actually wanted the same thing. And Prince was actually one of the people who was affected by Michael's death the most. In fact, after MJ's death, everyone was keen to get Prince's perspective, but he made no public statement. But according to people close to him, he was actually affected. Prince even began including Michael Jackson's song Don't Stop Till You Get Enough in some of his performances. And Tavis Smiley, who was close to Prince, shared what he claimed was Prince's reaction to Michael Jackson's death in a 2016 interview with Extra, and said that when the news broke that Michael had died, Prince was in rehearsal at Paisley Park. Prince canceled rehearsals, sent the band home, and for days locked himself in his bedroom and wouldn't come out, and really didn't talk to anyone. If I recall correctly, Prince's former bodyguards also said Prince and MJ actually maintained a private friendship outside of the media. Apparently, Michael had been to Paisley Park on multiple occasions, and they often played games there, and that they had also been backstage at each other's concerts. In addition, he allegedly said that Michael played the final version of the Dangerous album for Prince in his private studio before it was released, and Prince said he loved it. Basically, he said that MJ and Prince were actually friends, and just talked and laughed and hung out like regular guys, just good old friends. But they just didn't display that publicly because of how the media and industry tried to keep them rivals. But these two artists just wanted control of their music, and because they both fought for that, based on what has been said, they both died under mysterious circumstances soon after.
I own half of Sony's publishing and I'm leaving them
and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know. But so the way they get revenge. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
The music business runs like this. You'll have a manager, you'll have an attorney, you'll have various record company people. Everybody's taking a cut of everything that you do. So when you're in the fold, when you're in the club and everybody's getting a piece of everything, your tour, your publishing, any endorsements, and when they're getting a piece of all of that, you will have hit record. The moment you step away from that and you want to, in fact, take control of your own life, your own experience, then you'll find you're not hot anymore.
And before I forget, when Prince was having all the problems with Warner, at one point he put his trust in Jay-Z because he thought that Jay-Z had the interests of his artists at heart. But unfortunately, Hova was just another snake. Prince had worked up a deal with Tidal, a streaming service substantially owned by Jay-Z's company, Roc Nation. But in 2016, the administration of Prince's estate authorized NPG Records to file a copyright lawsuit against Roc Nation for putting 15 Prince albums on Tidal. The lawsuit said that Tidal was only given an exclusive 90-day license for a newly recorded studio album, Hit and Run, and that Tidal had committed copyright infringement by putting 15 Prince albums up on the streaming service. On the other hand, Tidal said they got a license, both in writing and orally, to be the first streaming outlet to distribute many of Prince's albums. But NPG said that the agreement between Tidal and Prince and the equity term sheet was fabricated and backdated to appear authentic. They said that Prince certainly made a deal with Tidal for a recorded studio album titled Hit and Run, but NPG said there was no evidence that the agreement contemplated other works or that Prince was ever issued Tidal equity before the dispute arose. And Roc Nation ignored repeated requests to provide documentation or evidence of any oral and implied agreement granting such rights. I don't know if Prince already knew Jay-Z was a snake before he died, but I've heard rumors that he also wanted to expose how Diddy was in bed with the same people that exploit artists. Well, unfortunately, people like Prince, they always end up dead for exposing such things. But one thing that can never be taken away is his legacy. The thing the people who wanted him gone will never have. And even as we remember Prince, let me know what you think of the things he was exposing and the circumstances surrounding his death. Which names do you think he was going to drop? Sound off in the comments section below.
And you know something quite interesting is the fact that the record labels, they know. Sometimes the artists know, but they want to get their name out there and they want to be famous. They want to do what they love and also make money. So some of them really don't care about the deals they sign until they know that, okay, it's about time they get out of it and realize that there is no way out of it. But again, you know, in the industry, it's almost impossible for people to have real friends there. So people know that, oh, if you have a solid friendship, you have to keep it private, because if you don't keep it private and it's out in public, in display and whatever, just know that you and your friends, or you and your close friend, you're always going to be fighting, because they know how to pawn each other or pawn people or jam heads together and make people fight themselves, because that is how most of these record labels, they make money. When two artists are having a feud, I mean, they know what they do, and they know how to pawn this artist or set them up against each other. It's just part of the game, part of the tactics. But obviously, it's the same game. Artists coming to talk about their record label, they end up unalived, or they end up never saying nothing, not saying nothing, and it's gone. It's the same thing, circle routine. But also to know that Hollywood is a very, very dangerous place, and the game is dangerous, and people really need to watch out and be careful. Go in with your eyes wide open, not with your eyes closed, and just be careful. That's just the truth. But obviously, maybe, just maybe, someday sooner, the truth may be revealed, or it may never be revealed. But sooner or later, or most likely, people are beginning to know the things that are happening in Hollywood and the entertainment industry and some of these record labels, their dealings and whatnot. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below regarding this. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.